Maps to the stars. I wanted to sit down and talk about this real quick today. Yeah, I needed a few days to actually think about what I wanted to say, and I still have no idea what to say. I enjoyed it. I don't think a lot of people will. I don't think it's for everyone. I don't think that everyone will like it, and I certainly wouldn't recommend it to anyone. It's weird. It's a weird movie, I guess, and the characters I think are the area where people won't really like it that much. All the characters are awful, awful people that you can't relate to at all. They're all actors in Hollywood or managers or whatever, and they're basically spoiled and selfish and incredibly obnoxious. And for some reason, I ended up invested in those characters, and I think that's a very rare thing when a movie can sort of make you feel something towards characters that you hate. I have the same thing with F. Scott Fitzgerald's books, where I hate everyone in them, but I still love those books. And I think I have the same thing with this movie. I won't get into it too much because I don't want to really spoil anything. This is not a movie with twists and turns or anything like that, but I certainly don't want to spoil the story. Incredibly bizarre characters. I think that's all it is, because the story is really non-existent. I mean, there's some sort of backstory to it, some mysteries and things like that, but it's pretty clear what happens in the first 5 minutes. There's no sort of mystery surrounding these people. They're very transparent. They're very awful people, and I was okay with the ending. I was okay with everything that happened. Honestly, I have no issues with the ending, except I wish it was a bit, not longer, but I wish it had a bit more substance to it, but I expected it to end in a similar way. And I don't want to spoil it, but my god, there's a scene with fire in it, and I won't say anything else, but there's a scene with fire, and it looked awful, and at first I was thinking, they're joking, right? This is like a dream or something, like, it cannot look like this. We are living in 2014. We should have the technology to make CG fire look realistic, right? Apparently we don't, because it looked awful. It looked worse than the CG fire in Amazing Spider-Man 1. When that kid is in the car dangling from the bridge, it looked even worse than that. So I guess we haven't perfected the CG fire yet, because it looked really, really bad. But I really don't want to say much else about this movie. It's a very shallow movie. There's not a message to it. There's nothing to it, really. I enjoyed it for some inexplicable reason, and I won't even try to understand why I enjoyed it. I think I'm just messed up, and I ended up liking it. But looking back, I wouldn't recommend it. I don't think that it has substance to it. I don't think that the characters have substance to them, and they're all just shallow people with no redeeming qualities. And the acting was actually really good. Julianne Moore was fantastic. Mia Wasikowska, I think she just plays the weird girl. It worked in Stoker, but I don't know if it really worked here. The best person was actually Robert Pattinson, who I'm not a huge fan of, regardless of Twilight and all that. I don't think that he's that good. I've seen like Water for Elephants or whatever, and Remember Me. But I actually ended up liking him in this a lot. He made me feel uncomfortable a lot of the times, and I think that was a good thing. I think, right? You're supposed to feel uncomfortable. I guess that's a really good way to describe it. It was just bizarre and uncomfortable a lot of the times, and it was very awkward to watch at some times. And some scenes were just where the dialogue was just very, very uncomfortable to listen to. But the acting was fantastic, and the little kid, he's not little, he's like a teenager, but he plays sort of like this young actor who has been on TV since he was 9, and he's making millions, and he's just an awful, bratty kid who has also, he's already been to rehab, and I think he's like 13 in the movie. He was absolutely fantastic. You just want to punch his face. If you guys are a fan of Game of Thrones, you've seen Joffrey, and you know what I'm talking about. That's this movie's Joffrey, basically. You want to punch this kid in the face. And he's only 13 years old. And, yeah, the cinematography was okay. I really liked the repetition. There's one part that keeps repeating. It's a poem that just keeps turning up in the movie, and I enjoy when movies do that. I really like Spring Breakers for that reason, where things just loop. So I'm just rambling, and I'm not really saying anything. There's no substance to this movie. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying that it's just, there's nothing to it. There's no message, there's no satisfying ending or conclusion. These characters didn't go on a journey to find themselves. They didn't learn anything. They didn't go through anything. It's just an open-ended story, and I liked it. I guess if you like the actors, watch it, because Julianne Moore was really good, and that's about it. I was really excited about it, and I actually had really high expectations, and I'm not sure that it met them. As I was watching it, I was enjoying myself. It's only 2 hours, and it goes by quick, and I was enjoying myself. But looking back at it, I don't know if I should have enjoyed myself. And I don't like to look back at movies and sort of ruin my experience afterwards, but looking back, I don't really know what made it special for me. I guess it was just in the moment that I enjoyed it, and I guess maybe because I was so pumped to finally see it after months of waiting, and seeing the trailers and all that. I was expecting a bit more. I was expecting a bit more story, but I still liked it. That's it, I guess. Yeah, I never know how to end these videos, so bye.